when it came to doing Summerpalooza 4 Beach Paradise last year, it really shows that I was just isn't into doing a lot and just doing the best of what I could have done. And to tell you the truth, if I did Steven Universe Marathon last year instead of this year, I wouldn't be able to do a marathon like this, and it would have been a lot more smaller. And when it comes to this episode, since I was originally going to talk about it, which ended up becoming part of a top Beach City episodes list, which I ended up scrapping, only to save it for this year's Summerpalooza, there was a lot of flip-flopping and ideal swapping that it just made my brain hurt rather than doing the reconsider. But since I'm talking about this episode, now my reconsidering has finally made up since this marathon started. This episode Beach Party starts when Garnet accidentally crashes into the pizza sign that Kofi walks in after she tries to stop the pufferfish, which leads to Steven being banned from the pizza restaurant. So he tries to make amends between the two groups by doing a beach party. And to tell you the truth, the episode itself is mainly what I would have talked about when I reviewed the beach episodes from cartoons of last year. There's really nothing else to say about this episode other than we get the introduction of the pizza family, even though that we saw a few of them before this episode, but it's mainly briefly since that they weren't the main characters. And since they're the main characters in this episode, it's no surprise that this ends up happening when it comes to citizens like the pizza family react to uncalled for carnage towards the building that they walk, which leads to them banning the Crystal Gems from eating at their place. But considering that Steven enjoys the pizza there while the Crystal Gems just don't care, especially Amethyst who doesn't like the pizza there, he really had to take matters into his own hands. Like, I understand that he was with the Crystal Gems, but at the same time, he wasn't mostly responsible by stopping the pufferfish, since that this is still the beginning of his development. But still, it doesn't change the fact that Garnet, Amethyst, and Paul just aren't accustomed to what Steven does when it comes to humans, and when it comes to the pizza family, they just don't know how the Crystal Gems work. And considering that towards the end of the episode, despite having Steven and the Crystal Gems unbanned, this is still the beginning of the Crystal Gems just trying to get used to what Steven is getting used to. And that's not saying much when in Season 4 or Season 3, Paul is trying to go out with Steven and Amethyst. Whenever I see them in this episode, along with the pizza family, since that they never grew a bond, and since it's mainly a mending solution for Steven to go back to the pizza place, let's be honest with you, it would probably be impossible for the Crystal Gems to carry this episode when they're taking the situation seriously like Steven is. Like, I understand that the situations that they dealt with the missions are a lot more important, but to tell you the truth, they can't be able to prevent the pufferfish away from Beach City, since that this is the beginning where the planet or Beach City itself just isn't stable enough when it comes to monsters appearing out of nowhere. To tell you the truth, if I reviewed this episode as part of Beach Paradise last year rather than reviewing it for Steven Universe Marathon, my perspective of this episode wouldn't be the same after this video, because to tell you the truth, my perspective on Beach Paradise from last year was mainly tackling beach episodes and enjoying time at the beach, even though I never went on the beach in the summer of last year. And yeah, it will probably be a reason to scrap this episode idea when it comes to reviews in favor of reviewing Future Vision. To tell you the truth, doing better alternatives is the better option, and the only way I'm ever going to talk about this episode with a better perspective is doing the marathon. So when it comes to the ending, Steven and Afro work together to stop the pufferfish that appeared in their beach party, so the other characters need to work together to come to make a strategy to stop the pufferfish. Which really shows that Manafora has more of a reason to become the mayor of Beach City in the beginning of Season 5 and onwards. To tell you the truth, for this episode on its own, it's for what it is. And considering that I decided to review this here rather than last year is honestly a better choice, knowing full well that this episode would have been a lot more better off in this marathon rather than being reviewed last year for Beach Paradise. Because to tell you the truth, I just found the other beach episodes or swimming episodes better than this when it comes to them being beach or swimming episodes. And no, it's not because of the characters never swim in this episode, that's besides the point. So for an episode centering around the Crystal Gems hanging out with the human characters, it's not that bad, but at the same time, it's still a decent experience to sit through, especially since that this episode, at the end of the day, is still a Beach City episode. I'm giving this episode a 6.25 out of 10.